Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. I am on a mission to use my supplies. I used to say that at the beginning of my videos and then I stopped. I think I may start doing it again just to remind myself what my mission is. because uh, I just did my first shop of the season, my first big shop. And it was exhilarating, and I was nervous because I thought I was going to lose control, but I didn't. I did not. I did not lose control. So I survived it, and it's all good. When it all comes in, and when I get back home, I will share it with you what I chose to buy. Okay, so first of all, caveat, it is air conditioning season again, and you will definitely hear mine running. It has gotten warmish in Western New York, so that's the buzzing noise sound you hear in the background. Okay, I'm pointing this direction because I want you to see up there where my silhouette is. There also used to be my Cricut, and I really started kind of reevaluating what's happening over in that shelving system, especially in light of the fact that there's some separation on the end. And I started, really thinking why. Why would I know I've got a lot on my shelves, but why would that happen? Because none of my other Kallax units do it. And I came to the conclusion that because I have the additional shelf at the top, paper is heavy. I think that additional shelf on top full of paper is probably what's putting the pressure on the 5x5 unit. So, yeah, got to rethink that. Anyway, one of the reasons why I moved my Cricut, and I'm going to turn you slowly so that you can see where it is now housed. I have it on top of this little table here so that I could put the shelf back in. I'm going to pause and get closer. Okay, so this shelf right here, these in the middle that create the cubbies, those are what provide a lot of the strength and support for the cube systems. And I decided that because these used to be I had two open shelves, and we did that on purpose because I wanted to have my machines behind me. I decided that I needed to put at least one of them back to provide additional strength and support. So I wedged it back in there, and when I was making that decision, I decided, well, I've got to have stuff to put in there, and it's not going to be paper. I am not putting paper in these holes that used to have my machine. So these two pieces here, which house thickers, letters, and these are thickers like titles and things. They used to be, I'm going to turn slowly, they used to be right there. I had a shoe rack from Lowe's, and it provided like 3 shelves. So I had the floor part of the countertop, and then I had 2 additional shelves. I was able to put a ton of stuff over there. It also got in the way of my sewing machine. So, Janet always says, you give a mouse a cookie. That's exactly what happened. I took care of one issue, had to address another issue. I took care of that issue, had to address another issue. So getting rid of the 3 shelves over there reduced what I was able to store over there, but it gave me room for my sewing machine. So now I'm able to pass through a 12 by 12 piece of paper without it hitting something, and I love that. We'll go back to that in a little bit because I had to change what I was storing over there. So I brought over here my thickers, and that left me one cubby hole. Last year, I saw a video where this girl was resetting her desk, and she bought this shelving unit from IKEA. And she got these drawers that look like drawers. They're actually trays, they're stackable trays that you can get from Target. And she used adhesive backed knobs to create the drawer. I fell in love with it. I stinking fell in love with it. So my friends and I had talked over the years many times about color drawers. And I just couldn't ever commit to it because I don't think in color, but occasionally it really helps to have things sorted by color, that when you need just that extra little something to add to a page, typically you're looking for it by color. So when I saw hers, I thought, okay, if I'm going to do color drawers, this is what I want. And it has taken, I've had that in the back of my mind for months and months and months now. And I finally was able to pull it all together. I had left the trays in my Target cart, these trays, for months. There was finally a sale, and so I pulled the trigger. I ordered my knobs from Amazon, and this past week my husband was going into Canada for work. That the nearest IKEA to us is in Burlington, that is in Canada, and I asked him to pick up the shelving unit for me. So it finally all came together. I know I have the patience of Job. When I decide I want something, I want it to be a good deal, and I will wait until it all comes together. And I did. So I'm happy about that. Okay, back to these. They have at IKEA a shelf, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all put together in just a moment. But here, because this portion right here, it takes up some of the space, and I need the entire 13 inches for these two baskets. So what I did is I took one of these sides and put it in the middle so that I could pull these out in and out easily. Easier, not easily, easier. Okay, I'm going to pause and back up. All right, so that is all the change that has happened on that side. I've cleaned up. I used to have the 6x6 pads in the floor in between that drawer system and the shelves, the cubbies. That is put up. It is now, we're moving, we're turning. It is now over here. So these are some 6x6 pads that I have out to pull from quickly. On the top here are sticker books and just individual stickers that don't go with a particular theme. I have Nuvo drops down there in the bottom, and I have an empty ink. They're for distress oxides. So that's an empty container there. And I have some back here on top of my 6x6 pads. I have, this is my brads and some random embellishments. Okay, my sewing machine normally doesn't have anything behind it. I just unpacked my bag and threw that back there. So now I can sew, and I love it. I love that. This is my 30 days of sketches bin. We have talked about this many times. I have stuff piled on top of it now because I am going through my old collections that I've played with and decided, I don't know, that I was bored with them, or I wanted to move on to something else various reasons, I'm going back through those old collections and making decisions about them. I never thought I was going to be at this point, but well, here I am. And you know, sometimes I show signs of maturity and sometimes I don't. Right now, I'm showing glimpses of maturity, and I'm able to look at my collections a little more objectively. That is, it's more tedious, I'll tell you that. For me, it is more tedious than, say, going through a paper pad. Paper pads, I can go through them and make fast decisions because I don't have a lot of money commitment in them. I don't have a lot of, there would be several papers that I like, but I didn't like all of them, and I knew that when I bought it. So getting rid of the stuff that I didn't like, it's easy. But collections, you only have 12 pieces of paper. It's tough on me to make that decision to get rid of them. Okay. This is something new on top of my printer. I recently purchased, so my son, let me back up and say this. My son, who is graduating this weekend, part of his degree is in photography and videography. He does a lot of drone work. And he wanted to sell one of his drones. He has many. But he wanted to sell one of his drones, and I asked him to reserve it for me if he didn't mind. And so I have purchased one of his drones, and I think I'm going to learn how to fly a drone. So that's new in my life. I don't know when I'm going to do it because I'm not home very much right now, but maybe when I retire, I'll just become a drone flyer. Anyway, now we're going to turn our attention over to this shelving system. So I have talked about this. It's cleaned up. I'm reducing how many cubbies have paper in them. And down here you can see, so this is the other IKEA unit. It's a little shelving that allows you to have 2 shelves. I love that. And I am going to start putting embellishments in those 2 containers. And down here on the bottom, these 2, that's what I have left of those old collections. I am going to start attacking that and going through it. It's going to be a lot. So I bought 2 more bins. So this bin here, I bought 2 more of those from Target so that I can sort and flip through easier these collections. These 2 cubbies are going to be emptied out probably I'm going to say by Thanksgiving. They're going to be emptied out and reduced dramatically. And I will be storing something else in those 2 units. Now, I always say once paper leaves, paper is not going back in there. What I will do on these 2, instead of saying no paper, I'm probably going to bring from my overflow into here and shift things around so that I'll have my color, because these 2 here are color. I could put my color cardstock here below them and then have my embellishments there on the bottom. So that's kind of what I'm considering. That's the direction I think I'm going to go. I'm so thankful my knees didn't pop when I stood up. That would have been embarrassing a little bit. Okay, let's move to my desk and look at what's going on. So I talked a little bit about my thickers, and I stopped buying thickers about, I'm going to say 3 years ago, because I don't use them enough. Number one. And number two, it's so easy to make my own letters in the colors I want to make them in and have every letter I want when I use dies. So I transitioned to dies and on purpose bought letter dies just so I could make my own letters when I make my titles. And that's great, except for I'm not using my thickers. And when I get kits, a lot of times they will come with a set of thickers. So now I have this overflow. I'm going to turn around quickly, or slowly. We're going slow. I need to play my game show music. Here we back are. My gosh, what kind of English was that? Here we are back at the shelves, and I decided that these two containers, that's my limit. I don't want more. I do not want to add any more. I want to reduce those and take away. That's why we're going back slowly. That's why we have this on my desk, and that's why there's overflow. So these are my titles and images. These are letters. It's a lot. It's a lot to work through, but now that I know I'm here and what I'm dealing with, I'm going to start putting my focus on that. And I will make sure that when I'm creating pages, I'm probably going to start hammering out titles with my thickers. So that is what I'm working on. Now, I have already picked out my collections for summer through the seasons. And down here, I've picked out my fall and my winter. So I am ready. I'm ready for through the seasons for the rest of the year. I just have to make the layouts. I've made my selections for paper. All of those videos, of course, will come in due time. And if Emily is game, we had kind of chatted about doing Vicky Booten in one of our collection obsessions. I think this paper pad that I bought, I think that's going to be my June collection obsession. So be looking for that. All right, friends, I just wanted to show you how things are changing in my room. I'm so happy. I am so happy to be hammering out these details and making my room more functional and usable and reducing what is not necessary. Soon I'm going to post a video about packing because I don't know if you noticed the bags in the floor. Sunday I'll be going out again, and I have, the first time I packed, it was throw stuff in bags and just go for it. Well, I decided that I was missing some things, and I've had to be a little more thoughtful. So in being more thoughtful and considerate about what I'm packing, I've also reduced how much I'm packing. So 2 bags is it. That's all I'm taking. And that will last me probably for 2 months. It could absolutely last me for 2 months. Easily. Anyway, so we'll do another video about that later on and talk about it. But for now, this is where I am. This is what's going on. That's what changed. And I hope you get some ideas if you like what I've done. The things that I purchased, let me swing back to that slowly. So this unit here, I'll have all that linked down below if you're interested. If you're not, it's okay. Life's good. But I do want to mention while I'm thinking about it. So online, these trays say they're 12 by 12. Well, they are not. The 12 by 12 probably is the exterior of the tray. Inside, they will not hold a 12 by 12 piece of paper, which is okay because I wasn't using them for that anyway. I'm using them for color categories. But I just want to make sure that I mention that so that no one is looking at those trays thinking, oh, I'll put my paper in there. It won't fit, friends. They will not fit in the trays. However, if you took out the trays and you just had the shelf, that will fit 12 by 12 paper. But this is why I love these. When I'm deciding to work with paper, I can just take them in and out, take them to my desk, put them right back. I love that. Okay, now we're done. I promise, I'm done. Come back. We will chat again soon. Bye-bye.